Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows. Probably the funniest show on television, and I absolutely love it, and coming back for a third season, I was a little worried because supposedly Jemaine Clement wasn't going to be that much involved anymore into the show, and Taika Waititi was only kind of involved in the show to begin with, and after watching this third season, all those worries completely went away because this was an absolute blast of a season. So much going on. And there's a lot of heart and a lot of emotion in this season as well. So focusing on the characters first, you have Kayvan, Novak, Nandor, and I'm going to talk about each of these characters, and all the actors are absolutely amazing in this show. They are perfect as these characters. And Novak is no exception. And Nandor goes on a very interesting, existential crisis of, what he's doing with his eternal life and everything. Does he want to give up his eternal life? He goes to this, cult in, the second to last episode, all centered around this... third to last episode, he goes to this place where it's, all about, yoga and, all of this, aerobics, working out and all this weird stuff. They all pull out their teeth every day. And this basically cult leader lady who 100% is still a vampire but is pretending that she's not and convincing all these other vampires that they don't have to be anyway. One of the funniest lines in this whole entire season had to do with Nandor quoting 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies. Absolutely hilarious. But you have him going through all these existential things and his relationship evolving with Guillermo, and Guillermo really falling into, he's more of their bodyguard now and not just their familiar, because, he has all these killing skills he showed off at the end of the second season. And he definitely gets his moments to shine. He's asserting himself more. Harvey Guillen is fantastic, and there's definitely some emotional moments and conflict between Nandor and Guillermo, or Gizmo, if you asked Laszlo. But the thing is, the two of them have such an amazing dynamic, and it goes all the way through this season and goes into some challenging places. And honestly, there's a lot of depth to their relationship and a lot of complexities to it. Then you have Matt Berry, who, just kills it. Every line that he reads in this show as Laszlo is just pitch perfect. And he has a whole entire really interesting relationship that he develops with Colin Robinson in this season, Mark Proksch's character, and they're an interesting and fun, dynamic together. And it's also gets to a heartbreaking point where, there's a much darker thing going on here and a very sad thing, and this season hits some emotional points and even sends some shocks at the very end of this season, which is so impressive. And there's a lot going on under the surface with Laszlo in this season and makes for some great complexities. Natasia, Demetriou's Nadia, she is fantastic as well. Her little possessed doll version of herself gets on the run and starts possessing a whole bunch of other inanimate objects were absolutely hilarious. But the thing is, her dynamic with Nandor, as they're both made co-heads of the Vampire Council in this season, one of the biggest subplots of the season is the two of them are put in charge, and Nadia really likes it and does a really good job with it. Nandor's kind of an idiot. But there's all of that dynamic going on. This season brings in some new creatures, brings back some other ones I won't spoil, but there's some new creatures, these really sassy, gossipy gargoyles. And they have a siren, which Colin Robinson falls in love with, which is very interesting, and that brings some weird, different kind of experiences into play here. And all these characters have such great moments, each of them. There's a lot of great cameos in this season too, and I'm not going to spoil any of them, but some of them are so random but worked so well in this show. And then you have each particular episode, like the trip to Atlantic City is probably like the best like solo adventure in this whole entire season, and they have the whole like the theme to the show over the course of like dilapidated shots of Atlantic City. And being from New Jersey, it was so hilarious watching that and being like, that's so accurate. And this show is full of heart, there's emotion, there's surprises in this season. The last episode leaves you like, what the hell? And so wanting to see what the heck's gonna happen in season 4. And I'm just sitting here being like, I'm in love with this show. I'm in love with all these characters. They are a bunch of idiots sometimes, but you know what? They're just so much fun, and they work so well together. And I'm looking forward to this show going on for a while more, but they could be shaking things up a lot, honestly, based off of the last couple episodes of the season. Shaking it a lot moving forward, and we're going to have to find out. And hopefully there will be a return of regular human bartender, Jackie Daytona. Hopefully. But those are my thoughts on what we do in The Shadow Season 3. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.